So good morning. My name is Shannon Freeman, and I'm the Director of Programs and Outreach here at the Attorney General's Office. Our section is responsible for education and training on behalf of the Office of the Attorney General, and we also administer a number of statewide initiatives and programs, many of which have a victim focus. Quickly, I'll share some housekeeping. As you see, our participants will be muted today, but please don't let that mute your enthusiasm. Since our winners will not be hearing your raucous applause, please feel free to celebrate them in the chat. So send them your warm fuzzies as we go through, and particularly as you hear about their amazing contributions to the Commonwealth. Again, if you need live captioning, you can press the three dots at the top of your screen and you can scroll down to click on that function. Okay. So just to kick us off, I will say that several members of our programs and outreach team had a hand in putting today's ceremony together under the leadership of our Victim Notification Program Director, Kiana Perkins. You'll get the opportunity to hear from Kiana and some of our other team members a little bit later in today's program. So we are so happy to finally be honoring these outstanding Virginians. Today's event has been a long time coming. We had hoped to honor them last year in an in-person ceremony, but as you can guess, COVID interrupted our plans like it did so many others. So we held off on doing a virtual ceremony because we remained optimistic and hopeful that we would be able to gather together to celebrate their contributions. But again, COVID had other plans. So we will honor them today virtually, but we will remain hopeful that we will be able to gather together in person very, very soon to honor them. So we do this event each year in commemoration of National Crime Victims' Rights Week. National Crime Victims' Rights Week gives us a really unique opportunity to raise awareness of victims' rights, to honor the progress that we have made in the victim serving field, and to honor victims, commemorate their accomplishments, as well as those of the folks that serve them. And so that's what we want to do today. And I know that we have many folks in this virtual room who are themselves unsung heroes, who work with victims. And I'm not only talking about our honorees. So thank you all for all the work that you do each day to support and advocate for victims of crime. Personally, I am honored to work with an incredible team of unsung heroes in their own right, who work day in and day out to advance public safety priorities throughout the Commonwealth, promoting programs that directly impact the well-being and long-term resiliency of victims of crime. And the work that our team does is a direct reflection of the leadership and the vision of Attorney General Mark Herring. In his 7+ years as Attorney General, his 8 years prior to that in the Virginia Senate, and his tenure in local government in Loudoun County, General Herring has always stood with victims of crime, working to increase victims' access to resources and to improve the justice system's response to victims. It is now my honor to present to you the 47th Attorney General of Virginia, the Honorable Mark R. Herring.
Well, thank you so much, Shannon. I thank you for the welcome and for your service. Would like to say hello to everyone on the call and thank you so much for joining us for the 4th Annual Unsung Hero Awards to recognize a really special group of people. And especially want to thank everyone with our programs and outreach team for all of their hard work in helping make this and all of the other work that they do possible. And I'm sorry we're not able to meet in person today, but I hope next year we'll be able to do it and to celebrate these amazing individuals together in person again. And I'm also personally very happy to be here to help bring a lot of much needed attention to a group of men and women whose unwavering dedication and support often goes uncelebrated. These are folks who we are honoring today with the Unsung Heroes Award, and they have dedicated their time and their efforts to victim services. Each of you has provided comfort and assistance to victims during their hardest times, and you have worked tirelessly to support people who have been victimized in horrific ways. And even though your work is extremely important and has touched thousands of lives, it all goes too often unnoticed. And today, I'm honored to have the opportunity to give you each the recognition that you deserve. As Attorney General, I have made pursuing justice for victims one of my top priorities. My team and I are really proud to work with you and others like you toward our shared goal of helping victims get back on their feet, making criminal justice system and the process a little more sympathetic and easy to navigate, and helping our friends and neighbors get on a path of healing. I'll just say at a personal level, I had a phone call from a friend of mine who I'd known for probably at least 20 years and did not know that she had been the victim of a very serious crime. It happened to have been a serial offense, so there were a lot of other victims as well. And she called to tell me that she had received a call from someone in our victim support unit, and that they went above and beyond and met with them. They attended hearings together, and she called me just to let me know that after 20 years, she felt like her Commonwealth was standing with her through such a traumatic event that was so traumatic, would stay with anyone for a lifetime, and how much that meant. And so from a personal level, I know from people who have been victims of crime how much it means to know that there are people who are helping them get back on their feet and get their lives together and get back on a path of healing and recovery. Working with each of you and your colleagues around the Commonwealth, we have made such great strides to bring justice to victims of sexual assault, domestic violence, human trafficking, identity theft, and so many others. Our victim notification program continues to grow under its passionate leadership of Kiana Perkins. And now we also have an advocate to provide victim assistance in cases being prosecuted by our major crimes and emerging threats section, as well as our Medicaid fraud control unit. And some of those crimes are especially heartbreaking. Last summer, we announced that Virginia's rape kit backlog had been completely eliminated. And as a result of our $3.4 million project, 2,665 previously untested rape kits were tested, including kits that had gone untested for decades. 851 DNA profiles were added to CODIS, and more than 350 hits were sent back to localities for further review. And there's been at least one charge after identification through the PERK backlog project, and we anticipate more as localities continue to reopen and examine these cases further. We've also helped implement more trauma-informed investigative techniques to minimize the impact on a survivor and to improve the quality of information that they provide and encourage them to participate in the criminal justice process. That kind of survivor-centered, trauma-informed response is what the victims and the survivors have come to expect from our office to lead the charge on that. And we continue to invest in our address confidentiality program to help ensure that once victims make that courageous decision to leave a dangerous situation, that they have another way to keep themselves safe from their abuser. And one final area that I'd like to mention is human trafficking. We've invested a tremendous amount in the fight against human trafficking, particularly in Hampton Roads and the Hampton Roads Human Trafficking Task Force. Through this task force, we're able to provide a comprehensive, community-based, victim-centered response that includes law enforcement activities, victim services, and support in dealing with the legal system. And just last December, we were able to secure a further $525,000 that will fund the continued work of the task force for 3 more years and allow the task force to expand into new localities as well as support our task force coordinator. So that is really good news. So I hope you can see that we are really lucky to have a truly broad view of Virginia's victim services culture. And that means that we have the privilege of seeing exactly how much work you and your colleagues do and how much impact you really have. We could not do any of what we do without the dedication and the hard work of those that we're honoring today with the Unsung Hero Awards. And these honorees have gone above and beyond to help develop and implement these programs, and sometimes provide something so simple as a person to talk to or a shoulder to cry on. Our honorees do everything in their power to help victims, even if it's outside the scope of their job description, and I've seen it myself. You all come in early, you stay late, you work through lunch, you come in on weekends, you take personal time to receive additional training and to teach others. And you stop at nothing to make sure that you're helping victims who may not know where else to turn. You all have become invaluable resources for your communities and for our Commonwealth as we continue to work to get survivors the justice they deserve. You've become the folks that your colleagues depend on for guidance and advice, and most importantly, your people victims depend on for comfort and support during their darkest times. So today we honor law enforcement officials who go to great lengths to make sure that survivors are treated with dignity and care through every step of the process. Those who dedicate their lives to organizations whose sole purpose is to serve victims and survivors in their greatest time of need. Men and women who have faced tragedies themselves and now work to show others that there is a light at the end to the tunnel, and they too have the strength to get there. And people in the legal field who not only provide legal counsel or prosecute perpetrators, but also connect victims with social services or help them with something as simple as filling out paperwork. And I said before, and I'll continue to say, this incredibly important work that these honorees do far too often goes unrecognized. And you all have become such an integral part of our Commonwealth's efforts in victims services that we too often take you for granted and forget to say, to stop and say thank you. So thank you. And thank you for everything that you've done and you continue to do for our victims and for our survivors. I am so proud to be able to honor each and every one of you today. And with that, I will turn it over to Kiana, who will help present, or I guess help me. I'm not sure how this is going to work virtually, but who will help present honorees with our Unsung Heroes Awards. So thank you all so much.
Thank you, Attorney General Herring. Good morning, everyone. I'm Kiana Perkins, Director of the Victim Notification Program. The selection process for the awards begins with our Programs and Outreach team receiving nomination forms from individual supervisors, colleagues, various agencies, and community partners. We then form a selection panel, review all of the forms, and then vote. I then have the privilege to contact each of the nominators and share the good news. That truly is my favorite part of this process. And now I have the pleasure to introduce our first honoree, Erin Baumgartner-Barr. For over a decade, Mrs. Barr has supported the victims and held offenders accountable through her work as a prosecutor. Currently serving as the Senior Assistant Commonwealth's Attorney in Colonial Heights and previously as a Deputy Commonwealth's Attorney in Chesterfield. She served as a founding member of the Richmond Regional Human Trafficking Collaborative and contributed significantly to the development of Chesterfield's Davis Child Advocacy Center, which opened in 2018. Through her active case review participation and leadership oversight, Mrs. Barr has successfully prosecuted all manner of criminal cases, including a homicide case absent a victim's body, attempted murder, hundreds of domestic assaults and sexual assaults, child pornography, complex adult and child human trafficking, and serious child physical and sexual abuse cases, several of which involve single offenders with multiple child victims. Her nominator described her commitment to victims as steadfast, writing, "She demonstrates exceptional finesse in balancing her ethical duty to aggressively prosecute crime while being sensitive to and respecting the dignity and needs of the crime victims." Congratulations to Unsung Hero honoree Erin Baumgartner-Barr.
Hi, thank you so much. I'm so honored to receive this award. I have a couple of quick thank yous to give just to my coworkers who are here in the room with me and my coworkers back in Chesterfield County. Thank you for all of your support. Thank you to the electives I've worked for, such as Mr. Collins here, for his support in the work I do. And then thank you to my family, my son Joseph and my husband Chris, who support me, when this work bleeds over into our personal lives. And also my parents who are on the call right now. They both were in public service, and I thank them for being models of what it means to serve your community. Thank you.
Thank you, Mrs. Barr. Our next honoree is Detective Carla Cross. Detective Cross began her career in law enforcement in 2005. She began with the Criminal Investigations Bureau in Radford City Police Department in 2010, and she has spent nearly a decade as a detective working child abuse and sexual assault cases. Her nominator attributes her investigative success to her passion for helping and the rapport that she builds with the victims in order to best serve them. Quite simply, victims trust her. Additionally, she serves as the coordinator for the Radford Police Department's lethality assessment program, an evidence-based homicide reduction strategy to address intimate partner violence. Detective Cross is a frequent the New River Valley's Domestic Violence and Sexual Assault Crisis Center, training advocates and assisting victims. She also serves as a member of her region's coordinating council and multidisciplinary team for child abuse and neglect cases, working closely with the Department of Social Services and the Commonwealth's Attorney. The relationships she builds throughout the community ensure that victims receive the care and assistance that they need to heal. Congratulations to Unsung Hero honoree, Detective Carla Cross.
This is an incredible honor to receive for a job I love. I am fortunate to work in a community that I care deeply about and with an amazing team of professionals. Trauma does not end with a police report or a trial, and it is important to advocate for victims through the justice system and beyond. It takes all of us to make a difference, and I am so proud to work for and with our community to help victims become survivors. Thank you so much, and congratulations to everybody that's being honored today. You guys do some selfless work, and I really appreciate you all.
Thank you, Detective Cross. Next, we have honoree Ian Danielson. For nearly 3 decades, Ian Danielson has devoted his career to improving the lives of Virginia's children as a clinician, an administrator, an advocate, and an educator. As director of the Greater Richmond Scan Child Advocacy Center in 2006, from 2006 to 2016, he personally conducted over 260 child forensic interviews, led the development of 7 new multidisciplinary teams throughout the region, and engaged in statewide legislative advocacy on behalf of Virginia's children. During this time, his nominator described him as working tirelessly to help the many counties that use his center to conduct child abuse investigations in the most child-centered, child-friendly way possible, using national best practices. He served as an adjunct faculty instructor for the VCU School of Social Work from 2009 to 2016, and now serves as the assistant professor in Longwood University's social work program, educating a new generation of practitioners. In his capacity, he serves on the steering committee of Longwood Life, a post-secondary education program at Longwood for young adults with autism and intellectual disabilities. His research interests include child protection and welfare, public health outreach for infant safe sleep practices, and program evaluation for adults and disabilities in higher education. He has been an authorized Stewards of Children trainer since 2008 and an authorized Safe Church trainer. Since 2015, Ian Danielson has provided expert testimony in criminal trials at an average of 3 to 4 times per year on a voluntary basis, testifying on subjects that include why sexual abuse victims often delay disclosure and how victims experience trauma. Congratulations to Unsung Hero honoree, Ian Danielson.
Why, thank you, Kiana. General Herring, good morning and congratulations to all awardees. I want to express my deep thanks to members of my family, my illustrious colleagues here. Your relentless support and collaboration are the foundation of this award. Immense thanks also to the Office of the Attorney General. Your reinforcement of awardees' work to ensure services and justice for victims is an essential part of the larger solution. My intention for this occasion is to redirect its light back onto our clients and our future work with them, to galvanize the idea that we are meant to serve their interests collectively. As my former boss, Janine Harper of Greater Richmond Scan so often says, we all have a part to play together. And so I thank you again and close with truer words were never spoken.
Debbie Bell. Debbie, we can't hear you.
My apologies. Technology got the best of me. My name is Debbie Bell. I am the Community Outreach Coordinator for the Office of the Attorney General, and I reside in Roanoke, and I serve the Southwest region. So today I would like to start out by honoring Kim Flournoy de Joseph. Kim has engaged in 25 plus years of work with and for victims at just about every point on the professional continuum, as a volunteer, as founding director of Children's Services at Henrico Safe Harbor, and as an organizational consultant to domestic and sexual violence agencies. Kim also has extensive experience developing and teaching courses in grief and loss, vicarious trauma, child-centered play therapy, and trauma across the developmental lifespan. Most recently, Kim transitioned from 7 years as an associate professor at VCU's School of Social Work to her current role as the project and training coordinator for the Virginia Victim Assistance Network. As the daughter of a victim of homicide, Kim also has the unique vantage point of being a seasoned professional in the trauma field, while simultaneously navigating the lived experience of the internal and external processes associated with violent crime. Kim's nominator wrote, "She exemplifies healing of self through healing of others. She volunteered to be a speaker at the VVAN annual conference, valiantly offering to share her deepest and rawest emotions as a homicide survivor to the largest professional audiences. At the conference, the audience was powerfully moved by her story and her perspective. In her work with VVAN, Kim raises advocacy standards statewide through her facilitation skills and promotion of best practices. Congratulations to Unsung Hero honoree, Kim Flournoy de Joseph."
Thank you. I'm wearing my mom's jade rabbit charm today. It's something I do. I always wear when I do something like this to honor her death and honor this work. I am beyond grateful to receive this award in the recognition of almost 30 years of this work, the past 8, in my mother's name, Trois Kim Hua. whose murder has gifted me with a sacred ability to do this work from a deeper place of knowing. And so I am both grateful for, and gives me a little reflective pause to be honored for tirelessness and selflessness. And so from the perspective of an advocate and from a co-victim of homicide, it makes me want to pose a few questions in hopes of continued growth and empathic growth in this field. And that's what it would look like to envision recognizing advocates who, instead of being tireless and selflessness, model balanced and mindful lives. And can we find a way to celebrate and to uplift advocate wellness? Because imagine what that would do to transcend our work with and for victims of crime from that perspective. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Next, we will go to Beth Eisen Zimmer. Beth is the Family Advocate Coordinator at the Children's Advocacy Center, a program of Children's Trust in Roanoke, Virginia. Upon joining the center 10 years ago, she became responsible for the development of the Family Advocacy Program, joining a forensic interviewer to serve 3 jurisdictions. Today, the center has significantly grown to serve 23 jurisdictions and includes 2 satellite offices and additional 7 staff members. Under Beth's supervision, the advocacy program is one of the strongest in the state, and she has been asked to mentor other programs, both inside and outside of Virginia. She has presented about successfully supporting families at multiple venues, including the annual Crimes Against Children Conference. In 2015, she was presented with the opportunity to become the handler of Elvis, a fully certified service dog placed at the CAC as a facility dog. His presence has become a bridge between the center's desire to keep the child comfortable and the need to gather information. In 2018, Beth created and oversaw a mental health initiative in which Children's Trust provided trauma-focused training and certification for therapists across each of their 23 jurisdictions. This initiative has made mental health services available to clients without waiting lists and continue to be a success. Beth has also been trained to participate in Virginia's crisis response team and continues to work closely with several multidisciplinary teams in helping children deal with trauma. Congratulations to Unsung Hero honoree Beth Eisen Zimmer. And Beth unfortunately could not be with us today, but we have Christina Rouse, her supervisor, who will say a few words and accept the honor on her behalf.
So on behalf of Beth Eisen Zimmer, I'm extremely honored to be accepting this award for her. Beth has been with Children's Trust for the past 10 years, and she has elevated the family advocate services by treating each family as her top priority. She has a quote at work that says, "Every family that walks into your office is the most important person you are serving on that day." We're privileged to have Beth on staff here at the Children's Advocacy Center and are so glad that she is being honored and recognized for her dedication, her compassion, and her service. So thank you very much and congratulations to all of the other winners.
Thank you, Christina. And finally, we will move to Sally Fayez. Sally began working with victims of violent crime as an intern with the Center for Victims of Violent Crime in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, more than 20 years ago. Today, she serves as the director of the Victim Services Division of the Fairfax County Police Department, managing a unit of 14 victim specialists, providing system-based victim services to 4 police jurisdictions. Among her many significant accomplishments, she was tasked to develop the Fairfax County Police Department's Death Notification General Order and was part of the team responsible for bringing the lethality assessment protocol to the department to assist first responders to tailor the needs of their response to victims of domestic violence. She also sought and was awarded grant funding to host a 4-day regional conference on investigating and prosecuting sex crimes, which was held in 2019. To sustain this regional training opportunity and foster ongoing collaboration, she has formed the Northern Virginia Sex Crimes Investigators Association with investigators from neighboring departments sitting on the board. She also received a departmental commendation for her work in supporting survivors and witnesses during the Alfredo Prieto capital murder trial. Her nominator wrote, "She leads an incredible team of talented specialists who ensure crime victims have a voice and receive support and care when they need it most. I am grateful to have Sally on my team. She makes Fairfax County a better place to live and work. Congratulations to Unsung Hero honoree, Sally Fayez."
Hi, thank you. Good morning. I'm truly honored. I'm humbled to be one of the recipients this morning. This just isn't my award. This goes to the victim advocates I work for and with, the detectives and the commanders in both the department and the Major Crimes Bureau that I get to work alongside daily. I am passionate about this work, but what makes me more passionate is being surrounded by those that believe that crime victims do deserve the dignity and respect that we all on this call try to give them daily. And so I just want to congratulate my fellow recipients, and I want to thank General Herring and the others in the Attorney General's office for this honor. Thank you.
Congratulations, Sally, and to all the other honorees. My name is Mary Sharp, and I'm a victim advocate at the Attorney General's office. I have the honor of talking about Kristin Mallory. At the age of 16, Kristin Mallory's life was changed forever by a drunk driver just 10 minutes from her home. At the time, she was an active member of her church, an involved high school student, and a dynamic dancer. As a result of the selfish act of this individual, Kristin suffered 2 broken femurs, 2 broken hands, a broken collarbone, a concussion, burns on her chest and face, and an unimaginable emotional injuries that still impact her life today. As a survivor, Kristin has made it her life's mission to share her story in order to spread awareness about the dangers of drinking and driving. It is important to Kristin that people understand the long-term implications of something that is 100% preventable. With this mission in mind, Kristin speaks at high schools, colleges, prisons, military bases, police training events, and conferences. She partners with Chesterfield County Schools, the Victim Services Unit of the Virginia Department of Corrections, Chesterfield County Police, the Virginia State Police, Youth of Virginia Speak Out About Traffic Safety, the U.S. Navy and U.S. Air Force, Safe Rides, MAD, which is Mothers Against Drunk Driving. Kristin is passionate about prevention and also hopes to inspire others who have been affected by similar circumstances. Mallory's movement against drunk driving was formed in 2018 and gained 501c3 status in 2019. To date, Kristin has shared her story in person 178 times to over 11,000 people. Kristin's story is also being shared via social media on Facebook at Mallory's Movement Against Drunk Driving, and also on Instagram at Mallory's Movement. It's my honor to say congratulations and to our unsung hero, Kristin Mallory.
Thank you, Attorney General Herring, for the honor of being recognized today. I also want to thank Amber Leak with the Virginia Department of Corrections Victim Services Unit for nominating me. Without her influence in my life, none of my accomplishments would have been possible. I look forward to continuing my journey to share my story as a victim of a drunk driving crash in hopes of saving lives and showing offenders the devastating impact their actions have had on their victims and so many others. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Kristin. Next, I have the honor of introducing Chuck Marshall. Chuck Marshall began his career with the Albemarle Police Department in 1982 and became a detective in 1986. He has been working as a special victim detective since 2003 and is often called upon to investigate serious cases involving sexual assault of both adults and children. In his work with victims, Detective Marshall identified the need for coordinated, and set up a special area within the Albemarle Police Department where victims would have a safe and comfortable location to recount the story of their abuse. He is often called upon by the Shelter for Help in Emergency and the Sexual Assault Resource Agency to meet with survivors outside of the police department to make them feel more comfortable, at ease when documenting these crimes. He provides training to new SARA staff and the UVA forensic nurses on police procedures and outlines how the different organizations can work together to meet the needs of survivors and help in the prosecution of crimes. Detective Marshall oversees all domestic related reports and reaches out to those victims to ensure that services that are needed are met. He meets regularly with the Domestic Violence Fatality Review Board and provides information critical to the team's assessments. He has served as an expert witness and testified in front of the Medical Review Board on behalf of the Attorney General's office for his work in a high-profile abuse case. He also volunteers on the Internet Crimes Against Children Task Force, identifying and apprehending online child predators. Congratulations to Unsung Hero honoree Chuck Marshall.
Thank you. I'm grateful to be able to still continue to work after 37 years on the job, doing something that I love. I'm honored to be awarded this award. I want to thank my supervisors here, Captain Daryl Byers, Elizabeth Gomez, First Sergeant Elizabeth Gomez, and First Sergeant Jeremy Wood for allowing me to continue to do what I do. Thank you.
Congratulations again, Detective Marshall. My name is William Shackelford, and I'm the Community Outreach Coordinator for the Office of the Attorney General, and I represent the Hampton Roads region. So we bring you greetings. The first nominee that I'll be speaking on is Ms. Shantae Miller. Shantae Miller is a mother, entrepreneur, consultant, pioneer, and community advocate on behalf of hundreds of children and their families in Virginia and across the country. She is executive director and founder of the not-for-profit organization Parents Against Bullying Incorporated, also known as PAB. She is also the CEO of PUSH Professional Consulting, LLC, which stands for Patience, Understanding, Stability, and Handling Your Business. Ms. Miller launched Parents Against Bullying after her family experienced firsthand traumatic effects of a horrible bullying incident that involved her daughter. The attack caused her to confront the issue of bullying head on, and she found herself dealing with medical, safety, and other concerns that were impacting her family. Turning a negative situation into a positive one, she vowed to do everything in her power to prevent another child, family, or community from dealing with the stress and trauma that her family endured. Since the incident, Ms. Miller has dedicated her life to stamping out bullying wherever it raises its ugly head. Ms. Miller hosts annual events, monthly workshops, weekly mentoring sessions, summer camps, school visits, and much more, sharing her message of healing, restoration, elevation, and growth. Her No Bully Zones and other annual events raise awareness and promote best practices that are powered by a call to action. Congratulations to Unsung Hero honoree Shantae Miller.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much for this award. Thank you, Attorney General Herring, and your amazing office that always supports and assists us with any questions we may have, or just giving us the push to continue to keep going. I think my family and everyone in the community surrounding that has been very, very, very helpful in supporting us as well and reaching out to us when they are in need. So thank you again. Is there something you want to say, Olivia?
Parents Against Bullying wants to thank the Attorney General Office for the award. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much from Star Bright Kids and Parents Against Bullying. Thank you.
Thank you again, Ms. Miller. Our next recipient, Mr. Mark Nowaki, has served as director of the Culpeper Victim Witness Program for the past 23 years. He is a 20-year member and former chair of the Culpeper Task Force on Domestic and Sexual Violence and founded the first homicide co-survivors support group in the region in 2017. He has taught numerous classes for students, law enforcement, prosecutors, and others on victim advocacy and victims' rights. He participates in the state's crisis response team to assist with mass casualty events and is a member of National Organization for Victims of Crime and the Virginia Victim Assistance Network, where he previously served as treasurer. His nominator shared the following story. Mark was assisting a victim of extremely violent abuse, stalking, and threats to kill. The victim was very reluctant at first, but after several months, Mark helped her change her identity, including name and social security number, and assisted her with extensive safety planning. Mark recalled her sharing how she wished she could move far away to a beach and start a new life. When Mark replied, "What is stopping you?" After some planning and preparation, and after Mark pulled together some donations from the community, the victim left town. Many months later, his office phone rang, and when he answered, he instantly recognized the voice. The young lady on the other end of the line said, "I do not know if you remember me, but you helped me several months ago. I wanted to say thank you and tell you that I took all of your advice, and I am sitting on the beach with my toes in the ocean. I have a wonderful job and a wonderful life thanks to you. I am forever grateful. You saved my life." The nominator goes on to say, "I believe this is an often thankless job. He never asked for praise or accolades, but it is truly way overdue when I say that these are quiet, humble heroes we need to recognize. I could think of no better way to honor this man's work, service, accomplishments, and dedication than through this prestigious award. Congratulations to Unsung Hero nominee, Mr. Mark Nowaki."
Well, first, I'd like to thank Attorney General Mark Herring, who has been a pioneer for victims' rights and services for as long back as I can remember. I humbly accept this Unsung Hero Award, and I proudly dedicate this to all the victims that I have assisted from victim to survivor throughout my career here. And I offer my heartfelt appreciation to Captain Pete Sabell for the nomination. And I would be remiss if I didn't recognize my boss and County Administrator John Eggerston, as well as Culpeper County Board of Supervisors. And I'd like to thank my partner here in our small two-person operation, Kara Thompson, as well as my family, my wife Cheryl, my son Joshua, my daughter Brittany, for their continued support. And lastly, this Unsung Hero Award is certainly a highlight of my 24-year career here as a victims advocate, and I am truly blessed to enjoy waking up every day to a job that I genuinely love. So with my utmost appreciation, I thank the Attorney General and all his staff for this honor. Thank you.
Our final nominee, Ms. Carla Reeves. Ms. Reeves began her work in victim services as a student intern, and it is clear that she found her calling. In December 1985, she became the director of Hampton Victim Services Unit. During the early days of victim services, Carla was the only victim advocate for the city of Hampton. Today, the Victim Services Unit includes a staff of 8, as well as volunteers and student interns. She is a guru of a relationship building, establishing partnerships with the Hampton Police Department, Hampton Sheriff's Office, Hampton University, Thomas Nelson Community College, Office on Youth and Young Adult Opportunities, Transitions Family Violence Services, the Center for Sexual Assault Survivors Incorporated, the Center for Child and Family Services, and other community agencies that are instrumental in assisting crime victims and their families. She introduced and coordinated Hampton's first Reset, rapid engagement and support in the event of a trauma program, in which team volunteers respond to city neighborhoods 24 to 48 hours after a homicide or serious crime occurs, providing information and resources. She participates in the state's crisis response team, the Virginia Victim Assistance Network, the Peninsula Area Coalition, and she is a credentialed advocate with the National Advocate Credentialing Program. She served as an appointee to the Juvenile Justice and Delinquency Advisory Board under the administration of Governors Baliles and Wilder. She is past president and an honorary member of the Board of Directors for the Center for Sexual Assault Survivors, Incorporated, chairperson of the Transitions Family Violence Prevention Council and Family Violence Services, and the co-founder of the Hampton Junior Commonwealth's Attorney Program, also known as JCAP, a member of the Security Committee for the Coliseum Central Business Improvement District, and she is a giant in the field. And I cannot even imagine how many lives she has touched throughout her career. Congratulations to Unsung Hero and honoree Carla Reeves.
Thank you, Attorney General Herring and staff. I am truly humbled and honored to be the recipient of this award. For the past 35 years, victim services and helping others has been my passion and my purpose. I have been able to achieve the successes that I have thus far in the field not because of praises and accolades, but because of the dedicated group of advocates who work tirelessly to ensure that the rights of crime victims are not overlooked. We will continue to support victims, build trust, and engage communities. Thank you.
Thank you so much and congratulations, Carla. What she didn't tell you is that she must have started in this field when she was in kindergarten. My goodness. Congratulations to all of our winners. What an incredible group of honorees. It was a privilege just to sit and listen to your accomplishments. Thank you for what you do and what you will continue to do for Virginians. And now I also want to thank folks for participating and listening to today's ceremony. But I want to turn things back over to Attorney General Herring to close us out.
Well, thank you so much for putting all this together and just listening to all the stories of how many ways those who are helping victims, it's heartwarming. And I can't thank you all enough for everything you do to help support victims, to help them get back on their feet and continue on a path of healing and recovery and help them pursue justice. So to everyone who is on the call and to everyone who is engaged in this work, thank you all so much, and don't hesitate to call on us whenever we can be of help to you. And have a great day.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.